Well, I got disconnected. I lost all my folks. Sorry. Everyone who was there, I just lost you. Maybe you'll come back. I got this Zildjian cymbal. Don't tell anybody. I bought this cymbal in high school, actually. It's a crash ride, which all cymbals are a crash ride, are they not? It's an 18. It's just straight up a Vetus Zildjian. Sounds pretty nice. It's kind of bright, which I like. It'll be good on the bandstand, and it's good with the darker cymbal on my right, higher pitch on my left. So, I lost some folks, a bunch of folks. Let's see who's still here. Okay, Burger King of Doom, still greatest name ever. Tips for playing over the bar line, both for comping and soloing. Well, I mean, you know, there's that thing that everybody pretty much does. I think it's sort of the first level of playing over the bar line is just getting yourself to not mark beat one, right? Just play through it. Literally just say, when I'm getting to the bridge on the last A, or not the last A, but on the A going into the bridge, I'm just not going to hit beat one of the bridge. That's the first step. Just physically don't hit it on your bass drum. Don't do anything. Just play right on through it. See how it feels. And, you know, see what happens there. The second stage, I think, of being able to play through the bar line is still capping the phrase in some way. So that's like the Philly Joe, and a lot of drummers, but you hear Philly Joe do it so much, it's either hitting like beat 4 of the next measure, beat 4 of the first measure of the new phrase. So if it's a 4-bar phrase, four bar, I'll play 4 bars at a time. I won't mark the top of the 5th bar, but I'll play the release on beat 4 of the 5th bar. So I am playing over the bar line, but I am still creating a release of the phrase a la Philly Joe on beat 4. So this is 4 bars at a time into the 5th bar, releasing on beat 4 of the 5th bar. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Of making the release, instead of beat 1 of the 5th bar or the first bar of whatever phrase, you're going all the way to beat 4. Either a hit on the snare drum, a long sound on your hi-hats, legato sound so they ring. That's Philly Joe. He'll sometimes release on beat 2. Most of the time it's on beat 4. That's the next step. And then what I'd like to do is pick a release point, any release point. Play along with the record that you like, that's comfortable to play with, good players, and say, you know, you're going to shoot to release on the and a 3. Actually, okay, so it is about playing over the bar line, but when I said the and a 3, that's one of my favorite release points that's actually early. So the and of 3 of the 4th bar, and then you kind of, it glides over the beat 1 of the new phrase. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and and you're into the new phrase. So it is about playing over the bar line. It's more about masking it. So you don't always have to play longer. Sometimes you can play shorter. So this is that idea I just sang. This is the release point is the and of 3 of the 4th bar. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that as long as your time is solid, I don't stop the motion of my body. I think, see, I'm watching myself now. I don't really watch myself often, but it's like 1, 2, 3, and my body is still in motion, which helps me keep the time. So sometimes if people have a hard time, say, pushing the and of 4 instead of hitting beat 1, what I notice in a lot of drummers, myself included back in the day, it would be like 1, 2, 3. It'd just be like this sort of like stabbing motion, hit. And then my body would stop the fluid motion, and that's why my time also sucked. Because it's like I was in a groove, I was in a flow, and then I would hit the and of 4 instead of beat 1. But the minute I didn't get to play for a beat, my body tensed up and got real rigid. So if you keep your motion fluid, you can play over the bar line. Don't mark anything. Like it's hip, like Higgins a lot is notorious for that, but like if you don't mark any section of the form until you get to the beginning, and then you give the beginning the downbeat of bar 1, boom, it's really nice. It's really nice. It's like really effective because you haven't overdone it at that point. So those are a couple of thoughts, I guess, to explore when you're talking about playing over the bar line and ways to achieve a different feel. I hope that's helpful. Comping. Oh, I didn't say soloing. So yes, soloing is like, with soloing playing over the bar line, it's like that's where the repetition comes in, right? Where you're soloing and you're not just playing from phrase to phrase to phrase and throwing them away constantly. Stick with the phrase. Stick with the 4-bar phrase, and can you just keep singing the melody in your head and keep playing that phrase? So it could just be paradiddles or a triplet sticking or whatever it is around the kit, and just say, okay, I'm in this phrase that I went into at the beginning of the bridge. I'm going to hang on to it until I lose it. I'm going to hang on to this idea. I'm not going to stop it. I may even revoice it, but I'm not going to throw away that sticking. I'm going to keep playing it. I'm going to keep singing the melody in my head. I'm going to keep my hi-hat going. I'm going to play that phrase until I F it up. And the cool thing is when you do that, it's about repetition, because then you can play over the bar line. You can keep the form, and the musicians on the stage with you, that's what a lot of times you'll get to smile, because they hear your new idea at the beginning of the bridge. You play it, they hear you, then they feel the 8-bar phrase just like you do, and then you stick with that phrase and you don't mark the last A section or something. They like it because they know where you are, but it's not just blocks of shit, right? So repetition and sticking with a sticking, that's really the key for me, at least, playing over the bar line. I can play over the bar line other ways, but that's kind of the entry. Take some equation out of it, and that equation that you're taking out is constantly creating vocabulary. Stick with something and then play over the bar line while you're sticking with it. Makes it a lot easier. So I missed a question. What is your approach to creating momentum in medium slow swing tempos? Creating momentum, medium slow swing. Yeah, well, I mean, yes, I do have several things. So one of them, and there's an episode on this, if you're not at Jazz Drum Hang, I highly recommend it. There's a lot of these questions are addressed in episodes on jazzdrumhang.com. I have an episode on feathering the snare drum that used to be up on YouTube, but it's about playing soft quarter notes with your snare drum while you're playing time. That is one way I do actually ramp up energy at medium slow tempos. And that's a good way. Being very mindful of what I'm doing with my snare drum and not overplaying too fast. So the majority of us play too much all the time. Paring it back allows me to create intensity and energy by knowing where what like limit of like density and knowing where to start. So, for instance, at the beginning of the solo, if the tempo is 1, 2, 3. Right? If that's the beginning of the solo, I haven't crashed anything yet. I haven't hit any hi-hat stuff yet. My snare drum is pretty soft and not too much. So I think that would be a good place to start. Now, what if I started, though, this is just, every song, every situation is different, but what if I started at this density level? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, first of all, it's not bad, it's not wrong, but I gotta know what the vibe is. If somebody comes in real hot with their solo, so like this first soloist went like this, and then the next one comes in and it's supposed to keep climbing, then I don't want to bring all the energy down. But also I need to know if I come in playing that much stuff, I've already played all my toms, I've already played this cymbal and that cymbal, I've played triplets, I've played 16th notes, I've played long notes. I was like, so it's like, maybe I can sustain that and it's cool, but you gotta be cognizant of your most dense that you can play and pair it to there. So it's like you never want to reach your height of density, maybe almost never. You always want to have headroom to go further. So I guess like creating intensity and energy during slower tempos, sometimes again repetition. I was listening to this Billy Higgins recording. There's a bootleg of Joshua Redman Group in Boulder, Colorado, 1993. Redman, Pat Metheny, Christian McBride, 21 years old, and Billy Higgins. It's basically that Joshua Redman album Wish, but with Christian McBride on bass. And Higgins is comping. He's creating so much energy. He's creating so much energy and so much forward momentum by just using simple comping like that. And not throwing it away and playing it with good sound and playing it swinging, and the energy just builds. So repetition, the quarter note snare drum thing I was talking about, if I was playing a little faster, so I'll play medium tempo, comp, and then I'll start doing this quarter note thing on the snare drum, and I think you'll be able to hear and get the vibe that all of a sudden, something changed and it got a little more driving, okay, with the time feel. So that is a matter of being able to practice it. I need to keep practicing it and be able to do more things with my bass drum when I'm feathering my snare drum. But if I need it to get hotter and I don't necessarily want to play more loud vocabulary, I do add quarter notes. I've been trying to add quarter notes on my snare drum in between the comping phrases to add a little more drive to it. And Elvin did that, Mel Lewis did that, you know, Joe Jones did that. Everybody used to seem to do that. So I'm trying to get that into my playing. And that's another thing to explore, I think. So let's see if I've missed any questions from anybody. Good question. You know, it's not an easy thing. Raymond. Thank you so much, Raymond, for the Raymond joined Jazz Drum Hang. He's a member. He's at the site and he thinks it's great. So I'm very man, I appreciate you very much. I'm glad you're getting a lot out of it. If you ever think of an episode that you want to see done, please email me. I have a list. I've gotten a lot of good suggestions, and it's just a matter of you know, when I sit down to make an episode, I'll try to get as many requests in as possible. So thanks for joining here, and thanks for joining Jazz Drum Hang. Shambles. Okay, question about cymbals. So, okay. The Masters, the Paiste Masters Dark cymbals. Here's my take. This is just my take on my experience with them. I haven't played a ton of them. I have a 22 Paiste Masters Dark ride that is the best cymbal I have. I have some Zildjian prototypes that are nice. I have some other Paistes that are nice, but if I only had one 22-inch cymbal, period, it's my Masters, Paiste Masters 22. I like that cymbal. If I had to pick between a 22 or a 20, I would go with the 22 because the 20s are kind of tricky. I have a Paiste Masters Dark 20. It's like 1,900 some grams. That cymbal is actually a little more aggressive, a little louder. It's a little brighter, not really brighter in pitch, but it's just more of aggressive stick sound, and it's louder. The 20 is louder than my 22, frankly. I love the 20 in a big band because it's frankly, it's a louder cymbal. It cuts through. It's great. The 20 in a loud ensemble, big band, loud outside stuff is awesome because it cuts. It's a great, powerful crash. It's not too heavy, but I don't take my Paiste 20 Masters to like a soft gig. It's loud enough where if I was to even play a loud gig, I use it on my right side as the main ride. Now the 22 is actually what I do use on my right side, even in a big band, because it can cut through a big band, but it's just a more mellow, a little bit more mellow than the 20. So, you know, I have one rivet in the 22 and I love it. So if, you know, the problem that I have with the Paiste, the 20 Masters Dark 20 is awesome, like I said, but it's loud. They have a Paiste Masters Crash Ride, which is usually 17 something grams. But for me, I have one of those, but I don't like it as a ride. It's too washy for me. I want more stick sound. So I have like a bunch of rivets in it and I use it mainly as, frankly, I crash on it more than I ride on it. It was kind of a disappointment. This drummer, Jimmy McBride, has a great sounding Masters 20 crash ride. It sounds much more like a ride. I don't think he even has that much tape or anything on the bottom. It's just the way it is. Mine and the majority of them that I've played are pretty thinner. So my point is the ideal Paiste 20 Masters Dark for me would be like 1,800 grams, right? But the 20 Dark regular is like 19 something grams. The Crash Ride is 17 something grams, and I want something in the middle. So I cannot say that I've found a 20 Paiste. I'm sorry, Paiste. I just haven't found a 20 that I love. This 18 Zildjian is pretty happening. I have a 19 Zildjian. I mean, I have Paiste stuff too, but a 20 is either too thin or too heavy for me. And so that's the drag. But that 22 Masters is dynamite. If you want to dry it up a little bit, put some gaffer's tape on the bottom. But to me, it's amazing. The stick clarity is there. It's got some good trashy stuff going on, but it's not out of control, and it's not too much overtone. I feel like Zildjian, no knock on Zildjian, but I feel like the Renaissance and the straight up K Constantinople's, there's too many tones going on, so it's like all those tones in the cymbal of those Zildjians are fighting the tones of the bass and the saxophone. It just garbles things up. So I find that Paiste Masters to have some trash, to have some Bill Stewart-esque shit in it, some Tony Williams stuff, but also it's cleaner than a lot of the Zildjian. So I would go with the 22, and we'll see what Paiste does with 20s, because I also want them, like, they're still not, frankly, I want a good swish, like the Paiste Master swish is kind of like a crash, and I gotta try the modern 602. That could be the way to go. That's a different story. Yeah, Renaissance. I have Riley's Renaissance that was prototype. He played it at the Vanguard. It's a beautiful cymbal, but I still like my Paiste Dark 22 better. It's the for me. That cymbal's just what sold me on Paiste. Oh, 22 Constantinople. I see. Yeah, the 22 is killing. I mean, check out. I know I'm not selling Paiste. Well, you know what? I play whatever. I like cymbals. I play Paiste because I like a lot of Paiste stuff. I got a 19-inch Zildjian K Constantinople Crash Ride. They started doing a different thing with the lathing, like in February of last year. So I got this cymbal actually then. So maybe they just updated the way they make it. That would be probably a great left side ride for your 22 K-Con. It's perfect. It's actually perfect. Like the 19 K Constantinople Crash Ride is perfect. I love that cymbal. It's higher pitch. It's clean, but you can crash the heck out of it. The bell is killing. The ride cymbal is killing. Good for soft gigs. It cuts through with a big band. That's the way I would go if you're looking for a left side ride. I love that cymbal. So that's where I go with that. Personal method of playing with records. Some people like a course of playing, listening. Oh, I don't actually. That's an interesting question. Playing along with records. Playing along with records. If I'm gonna listen, I usually am not at my drum set. I really actually want to sit down and listen. I have headphones or sit in front of my stereo. I'm listening. If I have a record on, I'm playing along with it. It's really selective listening. Like, so for instance, different ways I practice with recordings. Lately, I've mentioned this before, I've been putting on recordings I like, and I'm really listening to the soloist's phrases. So whether it be the piano solo, saxophone solo, it doesn't matter. I'm listening to their phrases. I'm not worrying about the form. I'm not marking the form. I'm not playing anything unconsciously. So I'm not just comping garbage because it's what I'm nervous or I'm used to moving my left hand, right? I'm really listening. I'm playing very little, and then I'm listening to the soloist phrases, and I'm capping the soloist phrases with clear rhythmic ideas that are not too loud, that are musical, that make sense. So if the soloist plays over the bar line, I go with them. I wait for them to finish their phrase, and I go ba-doo-ga, or ba-ba-boo-doo-ba, right? So that's getting my ears listening to one instrumentalist at a time. Normally, when I play along with records, I'm not listening to the drummer. I'm soaking it in, and I'm using their vibe and their time feel and their subdivision. But I can't play and listen to the drummer at the same time. I'm hearing it, I'm soaking it in, but I'm not listening to the drummer. I'm more listening to the soloist, to the words of the vocalist, to the bass player's quarter notes, to the comping. So sometimes I'll practice dynamics with recordings. For instance, okay, this is a good example of a way to use a recording that I found helpful. Put on a Love Supreme. Can you play, how far along in a Love Supreme can you play? Matching the energy of those musicians, but while playing mezzo piano. So you're going to play along with the Love Supreme or Coltrane's Transition. And you're going to go for it energy-wise, but you are going to play mezzo piano the whole time. Interesting. Put on something really, really slow. So, what would I play a lot? I don't know, like, put on Dexter Gordon. I mean, okay, there's a compilation Dexter Gordon ballads, or like a Ben Webster record, and find a ballad and play with sticks, even if the drummer plays with brushes, and play strong. Not loud, not hard, just play strong with sticks during the Ben Webster ballad, and see how good of a sound you can get out of the drums. How good is your time feel? Can you stay with their time? Can you listen to Ben's phrasing and play in his subdivision in that ballad with sticks, no matter what the drummer on the recording does? So like, I'll do different exercises with a recording. That's how I use them. I mean, for the first 10 years of me playing the drums, I would sit down and just enjoy playing along with them. I still do, but the older I am, the more you do professionally, you're like, I just want to play music with other people. Playing along with a record isn't as exciting as it was, you know, when I was 15, 16, 18, 20 years old. Now, I will say this. The other thing is find albums with no drums. So, jazzdrumhang.com, we have a little thread going in the Hang. The Hang section of the website it's an open forum for all members. People are posting transcriptions and recordings they're listening to. And I started a list of albums that don't have any drums, drumless albums. Fun way to practice along, because there is no drum actually. So you can, it sounds and feels a little bit more like a gig. So there's a list on jazzdrumhang.com in the forum, a growing list of songs and albums with no drums. So that's another way to use recordings. So the other thing I'll say is a great way to learn tunes is by practicing along with recordings of great vocalists. Betty Carter, Sarah Vaughan, Carmen McRae, Billie Holiday, you know, Joe Williams, Jimmy Rushing, whoever, you know. That's a great way to learn songs, is by playing along with albums with vocal jazz artists. You know, greats, Ella, Billy, you know, Mel Torme. People who could really sing. You're going to learn the tune, you're going to learn the lyric, you're going to learn the phrasing, and you're knocking out a lot of things if you're practicing with vocal records. So that's another thought about playing along with recordings. So a couple more questions here before I split. Okay, so you're going to check out that 19, bro, I'm telling you. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it's like 1,600 grams or something. It's light, but the way they curve the shape of the cymbal, you still get really good stick definition. It's happening. It's the new ones, too. So if you find a used one, if it's the older way they lathed it, I don't think they're quite as cool, but 20K Renaissance pair. I personally like to, okay, so another simple question. I personally like to mix and match my series. It's just me, like, I want a different vibe. Like, if I have, like, this is a Paiste. Okay, so this is a Masters, and they call it a dry ride, and then I took steel wool. This is weird. It's like, it comes with this shit layered all over top. It's like paint. But I took steel wool on the top and the bottom. See that? And I scraped it off. It comes off. It's like sand. You're sanding it. Take a wet washcloth, and I wipe the crap away. And now, this cymbal is really great. It's a softer cymbal, but it's a 21. It's like 2,300 grams, and I've sanded this stuff off. So basically, these Paiste Masters dry rides, to me, they're like a custom cymbal. They come with tape all over it, which is this coating, and then you take the tape off till you like the sound of it. So it's a vibe. But I like to mix and match my series. So even with Zildjian, if I have a Renaissance here on my right, I don't personally want a Renaissance on my left because it's too much the same tone quality, right? Maybe a bounce ride here and a Renaissance there, or a Renaissance and then just a K series, or no, you know, Carope or something. I just like to mix it up. And so with Paiste, I do that also with the signature traditional Paistes, some signature Paistes, the Paiste Masters, the 602s. I kind of mix it up. So that's my take. I like to mix up the sounds a little more. Yeah, battle lyrics and trying to sing along while you play, that's killing. Great. Greatness Shambles is going to be so killing. He's going to take all our gigs when the pandemic's over. So, good. Any other final questions here? I got a split. So I'm headed back to New York. Jazz Drum Hang. The studio Jazz Drum Hang is still being renovated a little bit. So next time I get there, it might be a while. So I'm going to be doing these from different locations with some different things. But super fun. It's super great. I appreciate everybody joining. Again, the great questions. Thank you for the Jazz Drum Hang members. Soon, very soon, sometime this, in the next couple months, I don't know, at some point, Jazz Drum Hang members will have access to a weekly Zoom call where we'll do this, except you can be at your drums and I can be at my drums, and we can all be talking face-to-face and listening to some more records and things like that. So in the meantime, though, we're doing this, and everybody's invited. Everybody's invited for now, and then we'll keep doing these free ones on YouTube. But if you want the true interactive experience, you got to head to jazzdrumhang.com, become a member. It's $15 a month. There's a ton of stuff. Every week there's new stuff up there, so there's a ton to work on. And I teach private lessons through there. So yes, I teach a ton of private lessons, not in person currently, but online, Skype, Zoom, you name it, we do it. So good to see everybody. jazzdrumhang.com. Contact me. Join Jazz Drum Hang. Join the virtual studio. Let's have a lesson. Let's do it. There will be, Burger King of Doom, killing name. Again, kudos. There will be more Mel. I mean, there's a couple Mel up on Jazz Drum Hang. So there's more than, there's Rub-a-Dub. Then there's a modern Rub-a-Dub where I take the Rub-a-Dub and I use it as a phrase of 7 notes. So it's Mel, but it's like Marcus Gilmore meets Mel. Then there's a Mel Lewis cymbal orchestration. There's there's another one on Mel, I think on we talk some big band drumming. So anyway, there's a bunch of Mel up there, and there's going to be more Mel. So please, thanks everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay positive, and I will see everybody back here same time next week and at Jazz Drum Hang. All right, later.